on Australia's business channel. This is Media Week.
Hello and welcome to Media Week. Ahead, we'll be joined by the CEO of the subscription TV industry body Astra for an update on media reforms and fighting piracy. Plus, Foxtel's performance in focus as part owner Telstra delivers its results. But first, Fairfax Media is back in the black, posting a $224 million profit helped by the sale of its online accommodation business Stays. That's a big turnaround from last year's $16 million loss, but Fairfax has warned that revenue for the first 5 weeks of the current financial year is down 1 to 2%. Well, our co-host, James Manning, editor and publisher of Media Week, is here with all the details and analysis on this. James, great to have your company on the show, as always. Fairfax, do you think they're turning around? Is that what you can read from the numbers?
Well, yeah, look, this time last year they had some reasonably promising results too, and they've certainly continued the good work they started last year. You know, we've talked about this before. It was a business a lot of people were writing off. Just really didn't see how they could convert from, you know, what was basically a newspaper publishing business into a digital company that was making, you know, sustainable revenues. And look, they definitely seem to be on the road toward that now. There's certainly still plenty of challenges ahead. You talked about the revenue being down. Their guidance for the next year was very brief, one line that just pointed out, you know, revenue in the first couple of months is a little bit dodgy. But no, there's certainly the basis there, a company that, you know, still got a while to go. So
do you think it's seeing some digital revenue growth, particularly with its domain part of the business?
Yeah, look, Domain's a good story, isn't it? Because it's living here in New South Wales, you hear a lot about REA, realestate.com.au, but Domain's very strong in Victoria. It has pockets of Australia where it's doing well. They've made some gains in Sydney. So I think that is a good story for them. There's some growth there. Speculation that one day they could hive it off, sell it, float it, whatever. But it's certainly doing well. There's lots of other parts. You mentioned the digital revenues. Yeah, look, a big story there. I think in their notes they said something like $5 million was the number last year. That's up around to 24 million now. So that's a massive jump. Those numbers aren't going to keep growing like that, of course, but if they can keep inching that upwards, it's another good revenue stream. Do
you think it shows Fairfax's ability as well to deal with these structural changes over and above other media companies?
You've got to say yes. You just go by the bottom line. Look, they've made plenty of mistakes. They certainly, you know, there's questions about the quality of the editorial now compared to what it used to be. But look, that can presumably get better now. They've talked about better funding, acquisitions, to improving the business in certain areas, to make the product better. So, yeah, look, you've got to say they're doing a pretty good job.
Telstra, half owner of Foxtel, also reporting its results today, giving us more insights into how the pay TV provider is performing. So, of course, James, subscriber numbers there up, the Foxtel part.
Yeah, looks media good news day, Ingrid. Yeah, look, subscribers up 2.48 million to 2.62, so that's pretty good. A lot of them are customers coming in through Telstra, it looks like. A lot of IPTV customers, they come in at a lower price point, of course. I think you can get a sub online for about $25 a month. It's a lot less than the ARPU that probably closer up to $100 that most other customers buy. But there was a note that ARPU's holding up pretty well, which is the return per user. You know, if that number's up, some of these lower price customers could be, you know, upscaling their subscriptions and paying more if the initial taste of the service makes them think, oh, this is pretty good, I'll stay on.
Yeah, also talking about better churn numbers. Let's bring in Chris Weston now from IT for more on all this. Of course, the results of the season. Chris, great to have your company. Let's start with Telstra. We were just chatting about it here with James. What are your view with the standouts?
Oh, well, I think the revenue trends are doing quite nicely. The reason that you hold the stock, and I probably wouldn't be adding to the position, but if you're holding the stock, there's absolutely no reason you'd be looking to let go at the moment. As long as they've got a five handle on that dividend yield, yeah, they've reinforced all the right reasons why you want to own it, and you're seeing that key margin expansion in all the right parts. They're holding up quite nicely. As I say, the revenue trends are still quite healthy, and whilst you're seeing that, you know, the customer numbers, mobile numbers, the amount of customers they're adding, you know, there's absolutely no reason to be liquidating that position as long as that dividend yield has a 5 handle on in front of it. So you know, new highs today in the stock, and you know, probably the highest level now since 2001. Stick with the stock if you're already long.
All right, let's talk Fairfax as well. Starting to see some success, do you think, from its digital strategy?
I mean, those comments that we saw from Greg Highwood were absolutely, showed what everyone's looking at here, which is the turnaround story. And we've been talking turnaround stories for a long period of time, but absolutely no doubt that we've seen, the bottom in these advertising rates is very, very interesting as well. But the company's beaten on the bottom line on net profit by a reasonable margin, by about 16 million. The dividend at 2 cents was above 1.3 cents, so the stock deserved to be up anyway, despite the Greg Highwood's comments, to be fair. But revenue was in line. The comments about their outlook was pretty brief. But the thing that everyone's asking me today is this short covering? There are a lot of people who've been speculating the stock goes down and positioned for covering those shorts. But if you actually look, there's not a lot of short interest in this name. So I think there's genuine buying coming through in this stock today.
All right, Chris Weston from IG, thanks so much.
Thanks very much.
Going to take a quick break here on Media Week. Coming up, we're joined by Andrew Maiden, CEO of subscription TV industry body Astra. That's next.